Mikrolånets opfinder, Nobelpristageren Mohammed Yunus, stod foran højesteret i Bangladesh. Opfinderen af mikrokreditten er blevet fjernet fra sin stilling som direktør i sin egen bank af regeringen i Bangladesh. Mohammed Yunus har været mål for heftige anklager om overrenter og politisk betonede beskyldninger om, at han udnytter fattige mennesker. Yunus fastholder sin uskyld. For blot 2 år siden høstede han kun roser.
35 years ago, Mohammed Yunus founded Grameen Bank, a bank that has dispersed over $8 billion, lifting millions of people from poverty with microloans.
Mikrokredit blev udråbt som svaret på alle fattiges frelser. Nu er en del af magien forduftet. De skal møde en af verdens varmeste fortalere for mikrokreditten om et øjeblik, men se først her.
Mikrolånet lignede et mirakelmiddel. Bittesmå lån til fattige skulle sætte gang i økonomien i verdens allerfattigste områder, og på den måde skulle hele slumkvarterer løftes ud af fattigdom. Hæderspriserne haglede ned over opfinderen af mikrolånet, Mohammed Yunus. Nobels fredspris i 2006 og Presidential Medal of Freedom overrakte ingen ringere end Barack Obama i Det Hvide Hus i 2009. Men for et par år siden begyndte det at gå skævt. Rygter om selvmord blandt låntagere, skyhøje renter og stærke kapitalfonde, der skovlede penge ind. En dansk dokumentarfilm talte sågar om urent trav i selveste Grameen Bank, Mohammed Yunus' egen bank. For 21 dage siden blev Mohammed Yunus fjernet fra sin post som bankdirektør af højesteret i Bangladesh. Mohammed Yunus fastholder sin uskyld, og både Hillary Clinton og Nobels priskomité har udtrykt deres fortsatte støtte. Men debatten er åbnet. Er mikrokreditter nu også svaret på alverdens fattigdomsproblemer?
And now welcome to you, Mr. Sam Daley-Harris. You are the director of a global campaign to mobilize more support for microcredit worldwide, and you lobby governments and institutions to put up more money for microcredit worldwide. This is why you're here in Copenhagen. You're on a tour of Europe to mobilize support for microcredit. Now, it started out as a very good idea, then problems occurred, microcredit has lost a lot of its magic. What went wrong?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm on a tour of 9 countries of Europe to promote a new initiative called Seal of Excellence for Poverty Outreach and Transformation that really begins to address the what went wrong kind of thing. And what went wrong, I think a field like this got this recognition, interested the private sector, interested investors, and it got a bit out of hand in terms of, in some quarters, profit maximization.
But basically you still believe in the base concept.
Absolutely, and I really would make the distinction, there isn't one microfinance. I mean, if we see something and it says it's bad, they're all bad, or we see something it's good, they're all good, no. There's very different kinds of microfinance.
But you still believe in the base concept. Now, I just read something by an economist from the Philippines, a prize-winning economist, Walden Bellew, and he says that microcredit does not help the really poor. Microcredit is used by those who already have a little going. They're house owners, etc. And then they can have a better life, of course. But the really, really poor, they're not helped.
Well, there are institutions. There's BRAC's Ultra Poor program in Bangladesh. Grameen has a beggars program. Jamii Bora in Kenya works with prostitutes and beggars and thieves in the slums there. Some do, and some don't.
So you say there are some institutions that do not support the very, very poorest. They have another scheme, whereas
yes,
they support, say, people who are slightly better off.
And that's legitimate.
That's legitimate. Why do you say that?
Because there's billions of people without any access to financial services. The very poor, the poor, and the not so poor. There are many, many people, and they need to all be served.
As you know, there was a recent film that was very critical about microcredit. It was done by a Dane. It was called Caught in Microcredit, and I'll just show you a little piece from the film. I'm sure you know it, but the viewers will have it here just now.
15 বছর প্রথম ঢুকেছি, ঢুকে লোন দিছে, লোন নিয়ে কিস্তি চালাইছি, চালাতে কিস্তি দেওয়া পারি না, সখন হয়তো আসে হইঝই করে, টিন নামে নিয়ে যায়, টিন নাম্বার চাই, অনেক কিছু ভয় দেখায়, গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকের লোন কিস্তি কিস্তি দিবেন না, তোমাকে ধরে নিয়ে যাবো, এটা করবো, মেলা কিছু কয়। তখন আমি ভয়েতে যাই, জিনিস সমস্ত বেঁচে খেছে দেই এমন।
So 15 years of faithful service to the bank, and then she's threatened, she's lost everything. To what degree is this a typical case?
Well, I mean, I'm not familiar with this clip, but it says from Grameen Bank. Grameen Bank has 8.3 million borrowers, 97% of them women. I would say this is not typical, and certainly not what Muhammad Yunus promotes. That something goes wrong in an instance like this, I guess it's true, but it's very atypical in that particular setting. There's some other settings in India where the expansion was so fast that this kind of problem became more predictable.
Down in Andhra Pradesh,
that's right,
where they had to now adopt new legislation to control the very institutions that we were told to support.
Well, that's right, but the government of Andhra Pradesh in India overreacted in such a way that it could eventually kill the microfinance groups. So it's there are problems on both sides.
So at the core of it, what is now the strength of the argument that you are traveling with to governments and others who see all these critical issues, and how do you say this still works?
Well, again, there's not a this. There's the this that doesn't work, and there's the this that does work. And so that's where the seal of excellence for poverty outreach and transformation wants to lift up some indicators and that will let you know this is what we're talking about. This is one of the groups that's doing it the way that really empowers people and helps them transform their lives.
So basically a counter-offensive.
That's right.
Why not use the Chinese model? Now, they have lifted 300-400 million people out of poverty in a matter of very few years. They don't use microcredit, they use macroeconomics to change society permanently.
Well, another way of saying what you just said is, well, why aren't there wage jobs, and why isn't this happening? My only question back to you is, so what does a woman in a poor village in India or wherever do? Wait for the wage jobs? Wait for the macro change to happen? This is something that when it's done well can make change right now.
So our government, the next government, I think you're going to Norway tomorrow.
That's right.
You're telling them put your money in microcredit.
Put your money in microfinance that empowers the poor, that protects their rights, and makes a difference in their lives.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.